Over 400 million tons of plastic are produced each year, and much of it is suffocating the planet. Plastic has become the biggest symbol of global pollution. But there's a paradox. If plastic is so bad, why is it considered humanity's greatest invention? Why does almost everything around you contain plastic? And how did a plastic waste product from petroleum become the framework supporting the modern world? The truth behind the plastic age will be revealed in today's video. Did you know that the invention of plastic is related to elephants? In the mid-19th century, demand for ivory products surged, especially for high-end billiard balls. Thousands of elephants were hunted each year to meet this demand, making ivory increasingly scarce and expensive. In response, an American billiard company offered a reward to anyone who could find a substitute. In 1869, inventor John Wesley Hyatt created celluloid, the world's first commercially available plastic. Initially, celluloid was used to replace ivory in many products such as billiard balls, combs, and jewelry. Later, it became the foundation of the nascent film industry. However, celluloid still had many limitations. The real turning point came in 1907 when Leo Baekeland invented Bakelite, the first completely synthetic plastic in history. With its electrical insulation, heat resistance, and low-cost mass production capabilities, Bakelite quickly ushered in the modern era of plastics. Since then, this material has appeared everywhere and gradually become an indispensable part of today's world. However, the more one learns about plastic, the more one realizes it's not simply a material used for packaging or everyday items. For over a century, plastic has contributed to changing the way people live, work, and care for their health. From disposable syringes, IV bags, and blood bags to many modern medical devices, plastic has made treatment safer, more effective, and more accessible for billions of people worldwide. Many experts believe that medical products made from plastic have contributed significantly to increasing the average human lifespan over the past century. Few people know that before plastic appeared, many familiar products were made from ivory, turtle shells, animal horns, or precious woods. When artificial materials emerged, they significantly reduced the need to exploit these natural resources. Therefore, in its early years, plastic was considered a promising solution to many problems of modern society. With its lightweight, durable, easily moldable, and electrically insulating properties, and its ability to be mass-produced at low cost, plastic quickly became ubiquitous. This is also why many industrial historians consider plastic to be the most important material of the 20th century, comparable to the role of steel in the 19th century. Perhaps it is precisely because of these advantages that plastic has become an almost invisible part of modern life today. Look around you. The phone in your hand contains dozens of different plastic components, from the insulation to the internal protective parts. If all of them were replaced with metal or glass, the device would be much heavier, more expensive, and much harder to use. The presence of plastic extends far beyond small everyday items. A modern car typically contains between 200 and 400 pounds of plastic in the dashboard, bumpers, wiring systems, and hundreds of other parts. In the aviation industry, polymer and composite materials derived from plastic account for nearly half the weight of many modern aircraft. Reducing weight allows aircraft to consume less fuel and fly further with the same amount of fuel. Even the clothes you wear may contain plastic. Polyester, the world's most popular textile fiber today, is actually a form of plastic spun into extremely fine fibers. From cars, airplanes, and smartphones to clothing, household goods, and electrical systems, plastic is ubiquitous, and this is no accident. Its popularity stems from the fact that few other materials can simultaneously be lightweight, durable, corrosion-resistant, easily molded, and inexpensive enough to produce billions of products annually. However, the very properties that once made plastic an ideal material are now creating one of the biggest environmental challenges of our time. Plastic is lightweight, durable, and so difficult to decompose that a typical plastic bottle can take about 450 years to break down in the environment. According to many estimates, only about 9% of global plastic waste is successfully recycled. Nearly half ends up in landfills, while the rest is burned or leaks into the environment. Under the influence of sunlight, ocean waves, and weather, large pieces of plastic gradually break down into tiny microplastic particles. These have been found from the deepest ocean floors to the highest mountain peaks, even appearing in drinking water, food, and the human body. So how is a material that could change modern civilization actually created? Let's find out now. The origins of plastic begin with petroleum and natural gas. These are fossil fuels formed from the remains of ancient organisms buried underground for millions of years. To extract them, oil and gas companies use massive onshore and offshore drilling rigs, drilling deep into the oil and gas-bearing rock layers. Interestingly, only about 4% of global petroleum is used to produce plastic. However, from that relatively small amount of raw material, humans create billions of different products. After extraction, crude oil is transported to refineries where it is separated into various components. There, the oil is heated to approximately 660 degrees Fahrenheit in distillation towers up to about 200 feet high. As the temperature rises, the compounds in the oil separate based on their boiling points. One of the most important components for the plastics industry is naphtha. This is the primary raw material used to produce the basic molecules that make up most modern plastics. Besides naphtha, a barrel of crude oil can produce many other products such as gasoline, diesel, liquefied petroleum gas, and asphalt. After being extracted from crude oil, naphtha is transported to petrochemical plants for cracking. There, it is heated to approximately 1500 to 1600 degrees Fahrenheit, causing the large hydrocarbon molecules to break down into smaller ones. The result of this process is the formation of monomers such as ethylene and propylene. These are the basic raw materials for the production of many common plastics used worldwide today. Before use, the monomers are further purified and separated to achieve the required purity. After being refined, monomers such as ethylene and propylene are fed into reaction vessels to undergo polymerization. Under controlled temperature and pressure conditions, thousands of tiny molecules link together, forming long molecular chains called polymers. This is the basic component of most modern plastics. Depending on the type of monomer used, factories can produce many different types of plastics. For example, PET is commonly used to make water bottles, polyethylene is used for bags and packaging, and polypropylene is found in bottle caps, food containers, and many household products. After formation, the polymer is cooled and transformed into small plastic granules called nurdles. These are the raw materials for the plastics industry, typically only a few millimeters in size and easy to transport and store. During this stage, manufacturers can add additives to alter the properties of the plastic, such as increasing strength, heat resistance, UV resistance, or creating desired colors. The granules are then packaged and shipped to manufacturing plants around the world. From these plastic pellets, manufacturers begin creating bottle preforms, an intermediate step before forming complete plastic bottles. PET pellets are heated to approximately 480 degrees Fahrenheit and then pressed into molds to form preforms shaped like test tube. The bottleneck and screw cap are already pre-made at this stage. Producing in preform form allows for precise control of the amount of plastic used for each bottle, while ensuring consistent size and durability. Because preforms are much more compact than finished bottles, they are also easier to transport and store. For this reason, many factories specialize in producing only PET preforms, which they then ship to beverage bottling facilities. After production, the PET preforms are reheated to prepare for the blow molding process. Once the plastic reaches the appropriate softening point, high-pressure compressed air is pumped inside, causing the preform to expand and press against the metal mold walls. In just seconds, a small preform, about 4 to 5 inches long, can be transformed into a complete water bottle many times its original height. This process is called blow molding and is the technology used to produce the majority of plastic bottles worldwide. Automated systems continuously monitor the size, wall thickness, and product quality to ensure each bottle meets the same standards. By changing the mold design, manufacturers can create a wide variety of bottles in terms of shape and capacity. After being blow molded, plastic bottles remain very hot and need to cool down quickly to maintain their structure. Factories use cold air or recirculating cooling systems to lower the bottle's temperature in just seconds. Once the temperature stabilizes, the plastic hardens and retains its final shape. This makes the bottle strong enough to withstand impacts, stacking, and long-distance transport without damage. After cooling, the plastic bottles undergo a quality control check. Products that are warped, cracked, or do not meet standard dimensions are rejected. In modern factories, automated camera and sensor systems can inspect thousands of bottles per minute to detect defects before they leave the production line. From petroleum deep underground to the familiar plastic bottles in our daily lives, the journey of plastic is a combination of chemistry, engineering, and massive-scale production. If you found this video interesting, please leave a comment sharing your thoughts, hit like, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next fascinating stories.